Hey YouTube, what's up again? It's Marvin back with some more music reactions. Welcome back to Smitty Reacts. thanks for tuning in and checking out day 5 of Dream Theater Week. This will be the last day, which I am excited about, honestly, because I'm really looking forward to checking out the last 3 songs of this album. I've been reacting to Metropolis Part 2, Scenes from a Memory. And before I started this video, I did a couple of things. I just researched Metropolis because I remember Metropolis being a movie, and I wanted to pick up when that movie came out, which I looked it up, and it came out in 1927. And the concept of that movie was basically have like the futuristic city, kind of landscape, and everything's like high tech, well organized, super sophisticated, that kind of stuff. But then you also have beneath the city, which shows the lower class citizens where they're like poor, destitute, they're trying to figure out, how they're going to survive, while there's that separation between, classes is the best way I can describe it. We have the upper class and the lower class. The lower class is struggling, like they're trying to make it. Upper class is living the best life, And the reason I brought that up because that also would lead me to believe that movie, or at least that storyline, helped influence parts of this album, and maybe the overall storyline, because like not necessarily like the classism part of it, but just the part where you have layers. So you have like the upper layer and the lower layers, and like the upper layer is your main consciousness, and then you have the lower layers, which is like your subconscious. And obviously with the beginning of the album here, you have a guy that's going into his subconscious and exploring the possibility of having a past life, and rolling into this murder mystery about how his past self may have died, and all this other, anyway, all this intricate plot type stuff with the backdrop of one of the craziest bands of all time, So anyway, that's the reason I wanted to bring that up, because I just read that and I was like, if that's the concept, if that's the creative approach they took to this album, or even got a little influence of what to do with it, like, to me, that's crazy. That's the name Metropolis 2. That's why I kind of was like, well, if it's Metropolis 2, maybe it's based off Metropolis 1, and not just the album that they had before this, but maybe just the concept of what they wanted to do in terms of storytelling on the record. And the thing with Metropolis 2, like, believe it or not, I haven't seen Metropolis. I have not. But I understand its relevance, and I understand its impact, because I've seen other artists check it out. So anyway, didn't mean to get sidetracked there. Here's what I'm gonna do though. I'm gonna jump into the musics. So I'm gonna be checking out 3 songs in this video. First one up is One Last Time and The Spirit Carries On. Now I did check out The Spirit Carries On, the live version of it. I thoroughly enjoyed that. So I'm super looking forward to the album version of it. And then of course we have the last track, which I believe is called Finally Free. Pull that up. Yeah, Finally Free. That being the last track of the album. So yeah, I'm about to jump into it. So with that being said, just a couple of ground rules. Just a little format thing. I like to pause my videos, just so you know. It's just up front, I'm gonna be pausing my thing as I go through, unless it's like ridiculous and I just literally can't hit the pause button, which I've been finding that with Dream Theater. Like, Dream Theater is probably one of the few bands where I've just felt stuck. I'm like, I don't want to pause it, even though I will, but it doesn't mean I want to. And then for that reason, I'll be putting the links to these videos in the description below. That way you get a chance to watch it all the way through, just without me, and you guys should know how I feel about that at this time, but it's okay. I'm learning to live with it. I'm dealing with it. It's not easy, but I'm getting better over time. And then of course, I'll put timestamps all up and down this video, as many as it takes, as Shouldn't be too many because there's only like one main song and then another song and then my final thoughts at the end. And of course, it started the reaction itself. So I'll put that in there too. And last but not least, please like, comment, share, subscribe. This one's for the algorithm, just to help my channel out, help it grow and so forth. So I appreciate all the love and support. And of course, shout out to all the new subscribers. Shout out to all the returning subscribers and everybody else that's kind of following me along this journey. I appreciate each and every one of you. So anyway, without too much more talking, let's get back. Well, let's check out the last part of the Dream Theater album. One last time, Spirit Carries On. Let's go.
Tragic ending. In spite of the evidence, there's something still missing. Heard some of the rumors told, a taste of one's well. Did Victoria wound his soul? Did she bid him farewell?
Gotta pause. Oh, I love the harmony right there. I like that. Sorry, I was zoning out to the drumming right there. I apologize. Oh man, Mike on the drums is a problem. Straight problem. I'm just listening to just all that stuff he's doing right there. Still being in the pocket, of course, just doing his thing, and the band is just kind of like doing their thing around it. But oh my goodness, and I love the dynamics in his drumming too. Like, he's got so many. Well, one, he's got a ton of drums, different situations on that, but just the dynamics of it and the notes that he's hitting and stuff like that are just fantastic, anyway. But I appreciated that, and I'm definitely picking up on the lyrics here too. And it almost talks about what I talked about in the intro, where maybe there is some classism and some other elements, kind of things coming into where they drew influence from, that Metropolis movie. So that's pretty dope to me too. Let me go back a little bit. I just want to hear that drum fill again. There we go.
We slowly fade away.
Yeah, bass. I love that note right there. He hit that note with power, dedication, and persistence. you know, he touched that note. He didn't just touch it, man. He's went up there and said, smack that note. Oh my gosh. My man's range is crazy. Like, I really like that operatic. Well, it's not necessarily operatic, but there's lots of vibrato in his voice. That's what I want to say. You know, lots of vibration and stuff going on in his throat and stuff like that. And definitely a ton of power. So you already know my man's got like some good core strength. You know, is it the ability to push the notes out and project them out over the microphone, which gives you amazing presence, you know, when you're listening to stuff like that. And he just hit that note like, I can't do it. I ain't gonna try. But from a singing point of view, I appreciate it. So let's go.
An open door, I walk on through into his bedroom, feeling as cold as outside. The walls disappear as some woman who's screaming of them, please forgiveness. His words I cannot hear. Where did we come from? Why are we here? Where do we go when we die? What lies beyond and what lay before? Is anything certain in life? They say life is too short, the here and the now, and you're only given one shot. But could there be more? Have I lived before? Or could this be all that we've got?
So I gotta pause. I like that question though. He's like, you know, like what lay before? Like, what is there a previous life? You know, is this all that we have? Like, do we only have one life? You know, is there another life after this life? You know, it's just questions that people ask, you know, because it's an unknown. It's something that, you know, when we think about mortality and we're thinking about dying and passing away, you know, the question is always there. Like, we always hear different things. Like, we've heard that, you know, some people don't think we have a soul. Some people think this, when we're done. It's a wrap and that's it. Other people think we go to heaven. Other people think we go to hell. Like, there's so many different approaches. Other people think that energy is not destroyable, which is, you know, if that's the case, and if you equate that to being that our mind is energy or our soul, quote unquote, then reincarnation is possible because you could possibly move that energy to a different being or a different vessel. Like, there's so many things. So I get the questions, you know, it's just crazy that they put it into this album. Like, that's wild to me, you know, but again, it's art. So like in the artistic realm, you can talk about anything you want, you know, and explore topics and stuff like that. And even in a murder mystery, the fact that they're adding in that conversation of reincarnation, you know, or past lives, along with not only seeing that life, but seeing how it ended in a tragedy and then bringing out what happened in that scenario. Like, it's crazy. Like, that's just storytelling that's out of control. It really is. So anyway, I'm sorry. Let me get back to this. Let's get this music though.
Be more. Have I lived before? Or could this be all that we've got? If I died tomorrow, I'd be alright, because I believe that after we're gone, the spirit carries on. To that I still have to try. If I died tomorrow, I'd be alright, because I believe that after we're gone, the spirit carries on.
Sorry, I gotta pause for a moment. So the funny thing is, like, this is an optimistic track. It really is. It's really about optimism, because it's a matter of, like, my man just saw this whole tragedy play out, right? Somebody got murdered. You got one guy that, like, killed his brother, killed his lover, then killed himself. It seems like, or all that stuff is going on, But in the positive, and this is where you can take positivity from dang near anything. The fact that he's realized that he was, like, reincarnated, and he may have been the female, I think is what they're alluding to, in the storyline. Because the more I read up on on the story, he's also thinking positively, because he's like, yo, I used to be afraid of dying because I didn't know, but now I've revealed all this information to myself and I understand what's going on. I also know that there is an afterlife. There's a second life and a second chance at things, and I'm currently in that second chance, or potentially third or fourth chances, depending on where he's at. So he's speaking optimistically. He's like, yo, if I die tomorrow, I'm cool. I'll be all right, because I know that the spirit carries on, because of what I just uncovered in this state. Now, if you're thinking existentially, is it your brain tricking yourself to, go into the unknown, and you're just coaching yourself and pumping yourself up, like, just in case, like, I hope so, hope this will work. And if I die, it's all good. Like, is it that, or is it real? And it's just like, hey, you take it literally, like, you will pass away. I mean, it's inevitable. All of us are gonna cross that line at some point. But what happens to us after that? Do we just evaporate and that's it, and it's over? The lights switch off and there it is? Or does the spirit truly carry on, and you ascend to something else and potentially transition into someone else? Inquiring minds want to know. So anyway, but I like that, because it's still, even in that unknown element to that, it's still optimistic, because the optimism being that even if our physical bodies die, the only body that we really know to be in existence right now, if that fades away, and it will eventually, that the thing that inside of us that controls that mechanism will keep pushing forward in some level. And that's optimistic, because you already know that there really is no true end of things, which is awesome. So anyway, sorry to sorry to go off in the Smitty's tangent here, but let me go back a little bit. But I like the concept of this. I really do. Let's go.
I believe that after we're gone, the spirit carries on. Move on, be brave, don't weep in my grave, because I'm no longer here.
Right.
Please never let your memory of me disappear.
One small thing I noticed too, and I'll get back to it. I also noticed that, like, when there's deep lyrics and stuff that should have weight and meaning, I also noticed the band tends to stay more straightforward in terms of musicianship. Like, they're not doing all those crazy intricate changes that they can do and proven they can do, like, on the instrumentals. But on the songs, they tend to, like, streamline things. Like, it's not a lot of extra stuff. There's still trust me, there's still a lot of composition going on in there. But I like the fact that they kind of, like, tone it down just a little bit. That way you can get the meaning of the lyrics. So I appreciate that. Sorry, one more time. I also appreciate the subtle organ in the background, that real subtle Hammond type sound, that church kind of sound. because obviously that's the message of most religions, is that your soul will keep going forward, which is why you need to take care of your soul now, because it's going to transition to something else. You need to make sure that you got your good karma, slide into the next thing, or else you might slide to the other thing that you don't want to go to. If that makes sense. Anyway, sorry, let's go. I'm gonna pause, and the song's almost over anyway. It's only got a couple more seconds. So the difference between this version and the live version I saw was the prominence of the guest vocalist on here. I wish they had included that more on this version, because I can hear her in the background, but she's more of a background singer in the way that they like recorded the audio and stuff. Whereas, you have the main vocalist here, he's singing his heart out, doing his thing, which is great. But like, I wish it had been more of a duet between the two of them, which is what you get on the stage show, with the live version of it, and with the choir and everything, which is dope. The choir should be in the background. That's cool. Put them in the back. But I think if you have a featured vocalist or a guest vocalist, like let them duet a little bit. That's my only little baby gripe on this on the recorded album versus the stage show, because the stage, I saw that first, obviously, so I'm thinking it was more of a duet versus this. So anyway, and then in terms of the storyline, obviously, like, they put it right here in the caption. So thank you for the uploader of this video who was nice enough to just say, hey, this is what we found out. Here's what's going on. They just broke down the story to me. That's fantastic. But I was gonna say too, like, I definitely like, since like I was talking about, you got the gospel type of sound in here, on the end of this song, which I appreciate, because it's like, it lends more to the storytelling element, You got the gospel singers, you got the choir going on, you got the thing talking about my spirit carries on, my dude's hitting the high notes, those inspirational notes, you know, all that stuff. So anyway, let me let the last couple of seconds play out here, and then we'll jump to the last song. Yeah, that was dope. Woo, woo, woo. Not that one. That was dope. All right. So, last song of the album. This is Finally Free from Dream Theater. And there's some words on here. So, we'll see. I don't know if these are. Well, we'll see. I'm about to hit start here in a second. But I will say that last two songs, I know there was like one track, there was two songs that they just kind of like let roll together. I like listening to it that way because that gives you that kind of more structured feel to the album. And that's what I like about classic album placements, especially when you have an album like this, which is a concept album. But even for albums that don't necessarily have an overarching story, you can still have tracks that just blend together, you know, where you don't necessarily want to skip it because like the track, you know, one will bleed into track two, and then track two bleeds to track three, and then there may be an interlude or a skit or something in the middle, and then you go to the next track. I love tracks that like, you know, are arranged that way. We have like a certain arrangement that you don't see that much more in modern albums because most albums are designed for singles, meaning like you can skip to any track, any individual track could be its own individual single, but it's not necessarily like a well placed album, if that makes sense. So anyway, I like old school like album tracking is what I'm trying to say. So anyway, let's check out Finally Free. Finally Free. I'm finally free. This is the last song of Dream Theater Week. I can't believe it. We're here. It didn't even feel like a whole week's gone by, but it has, and that's crazy. So, with that being said, I just want to say thanks. Thanks for all my Dream Theater fans that have, you know, commented and have given me like direction on stuff. They're the ones that kind of inspired me to do this whole album anyway. And that being said, I still didn't necessarily do it the way I maybe should have. I should have started with the first album and then gone forward. But, you know, it's all good. I'll get to that eventually. And also, too, like, this gives me an idea of what I want to do in the future. So if I want to go through and do more albums, things like that, or a dedicated week to an artist, I might do it a different way. But this is a good experiment. This is my first time doing anything like this ever. So it's just kind of cool to kind of like be able to go through an entire album and talk about track by track breakdown, you know, of that as well. So again, I hope you guys appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoy it. Before I hit before I hit start on this last track. So anyway, this one's for y'all, for all my Dream Theater fans out there so far, all the new subscribers, all the ones that have come back. This last one's for you, dedicated to all y'all. Let's go.
You are once again surrounded by a brilliant white light. Allow the light to lead you away from your past and into this lifetime. As the light dissipates, you will slowly fade back into consciousness, remembering all you have learned. When I tell you to open your eyes, you will return to the present, feeling peaceful and refreshed. Open your eyes, Nicholas.
I just noticed the music got a little darker right there. Little ominous thing going on here. Okay. Get that emotion up. Let's go.
Friday evening, the blood still on my hands. To think that she would leave me now, for that ungrateful man. Sole survivor, witness to the crime. I must act fast to cover up. I think that there's still time. Hate seemed hopeless and lost with this note. They'll buy into the words that I wrote. This feeling inside me finally found my love. I finally broke free. No longer torn in two. I take my own life before losing you.
Oh, there's a plot twist in the story? What's this? Okay.
Feeling good this Friday afternoon. I ran into Julie and said we'd get together soon. He always had my heart, he needs to know. I'll break free of the miracle, it's time for him to go. This feeling inside me finally found my love. I finally broke free. No longer torn into. He'd kill his brother if he only knew. Their love renewed. They'd rendezvous in a pathway out of view. They thought no one knew. Then came a shout out of the night. One last time, we're let down today. One last time until we fade away. One last time, we're let down today. One last time, we fade away. As the bodies lie still and the ending draws near, spirits rise through the air. All their fears disappear. It all becomes clear. A blinding light comes into view. An outside stage for new. Familiar voice comes shining through. This feeling inside me.
He just said, well, y'all out. He said, well, Y'all out. The black light coming for y'all, man. You know, go on to the next spot because it's time for y'all to go. It's crazy.
Finally found my life, I'm finally free. No longer torn in two. I learned about my life by living through you. This feeling inside me, finally found my life, I'm finally free. No longer torn into living my own life by learning from you. We'll meet again, my friends, someday soon.
Oh, I love that piece. So I had to twist my lip up on that one. That drum outro was so gross. My man is touching every drum on the planet right there. He's like, he went all around the world on the drums. Like he probably had a circle of drums around him. Circle, 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 circle. Oh my goodness. Oh my Lord. That was dope. I gotta rewind just a little bit. All right, let's go. Yeah, that's what I thought I was gonna say. It's in his car. The car radio turned off. I like the transition where it changed the audio type. We put the effect on there like it's in your vehicle and it turns off. I love that effect. All right, let's see what's going on. What's going to happen here?
Russia and Italy updated their lead story, all anticipating the outcome of the man considered to be a member of American nobility. And as you can imagine, as the skies have grown darker here over Washington, the mood has grown darker as well, and people here are beginning to resign themselves to the possibility that they are witnessing yet another tragedy in a long string of misfortunes.
Reaction from everywhere, from Washington and certainly from around the world, as Ken.
Must be drinking that bourbon.
Open your eyes, Nicholas.
What the heck? What the heck? So he got Inception? Is that what happened? He's in that Inception action?
You are once
Oh, let me pop. So this was Inception before Inception? Is that what happened? So he was in a dream, next to a dream? Like, oh my lord. Oh man. That was good. That was good. Did y'all hear that? I got something's beeping in my apartment. Oh well, I'll figure it out later. Oh my goodness. All I gotta say is that was awesome. That album is awesome. It really is. Because you're telling a story. That's something like I'm a comic book reader. Like I'm not the most consistent comic book reader, but I had a decent little collection at one point. And that's what it felt like. It felt like a graphic novel where you're just kind of going through certain things. That is gonna be it. I think that's my. Let me fix that real quick. I'm gonna pause this pause. I'm gonna be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. That little technical thing going on behind me. My fire alarm decided to mess with me. Anyway, we're back to it. So yo, long story short, album amazing. Just top notch. Storytelling off the chain. You know, just the fact that they were able to like have some plot twists in the story, in the album, even at the end of the album, was crazy. And you get those Inception type vibes. You know, obviously this was, you know, before Inception, at least the movie anyway of Inception. But I like that. I like the exploration of that concept on this album. So anyway, yo, Dream Theater Week was not a disappointment. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed diving into this album. And it's really cool. Like now I have to go back and definitely see the first album and see what it's talking about. I definitely have more of an incentive now that I've gotten through this album to go back and check the previous album, which I probably should have done at the beginning. So anyway, but yo, this has been Dream Theater Week, and this is Smitty Reacts. Getting up out of here so I can get ready for the next video. But I definitely just want to say, hey, thank you again. Thanks for all the people in my comments, people sending me information, everybody that's watched the video so far, and all the people that will be watching the video. Hopefully, you know, you guys will get some kind of enjoyment and entertainment out of this, just seeing me like my brain melt into nothingness on some of these songs. It's been fantastic. So at any rate, yo, this is Smitty signing off, and just reminding you, please, to take care of yourself. All right, be kind to one another, and guess what? I'll catch you guys in the next video. Is that cool? It's all right. All right, sounds good to me. All right, guys, peace.